Hi, everybody. Mr. T here. Welcome back to week 4 of the old quarantine here. Hope you're all staying sane. I'll admit it's certainly been challenging for me. Um, I tried to go to the beach today. I like said, all right, enough of this, like sitting around the house, and I said, let's just go over to Duxbury Beach. And I drove over there with my two of my kids. One of my kids, my son, is actually living at his girlfriend's house now. Believe it or not, I haven't seen him for 2 weeks. But I took my two younger kids and my wife, and we drove over to Duxbury Beach, thinking that we would just be able to take a walk or something like that. And it was closed off. I have no idea why they're closing the beaches. But they are. In fact, we drove to another stretch of Duxbury Beach over in Marshfield, and that was also closed. Now it seems to me like, I mean, maybe somebody has a good explanation for that, but it seems to me like in these circumstances, when people are penned up like animals, it would be nice to let them actually, take a walk out in the wide open air of the beaches. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, it's a challenging time. There's no doubt about it. But let's get to the work today. Today I'm going to ask you to read through the first half of Lectio 3 in chapter 23 in Capitulo Vicasimum Tertio. So it starts out with Marcus admitting, if you'll remember, that we have just sort of seen this thing. Marcus is ashamed of his deed. One who is ashamed of his deed usually blushes. That was where we left off. And Marcus says, certainly I was, again from fuisse. If you look up again, the verb esse, to be, you'll find that fuisse is the perfect infinitive for that, and fui is just like I was. Fui, fuisti, fuit, fuimus, fuistis, fuerunt would be the perfect forms of that. So Marcus is admitting that he has been a bad boy, but said post hoc, after this time, from now on, afterwards, I will be a good boy. Futura sum. Now, this is the new thing for this chapter. This is called the. It's a future form, like ero. I'm sure that you might have forgotten ero, eris, erit, erimus, eritis, erunt. Those are the future forms of the verb to be, and you can also do this with what is called the future participle and a form of esse. So this is like, I am going to be. So when you see futurus or pugnaturus, anywhere where you see this you are in there, you're going to remember that is future. In the word future, you have the letters you are, and I think you are going to remember that from that word future. That's my hope. And this is spelled out here in the side. In the margin. Futura sum, I am going to be, and it is the same as I will be. Partitura sum is the same as pare bo. Bo, bibby, bibby, boo, if you remember from when we, saw future tense for the first time. This is basically the same. They're basically the same. Paritura sum, I am going to obey, is the same as I will obey. Pugnatura sum is the same as pugnabo. I will fight. I am going to fight. This can also be like, I am intending to fight. Now, I think Marcus is saying that he will never fight in the street, etc. But these two words put together, the future participle, it's called, with a form of esse, is the same thing as basically a future verb. Dormiturus sum is the same as dormiam. If you'll remember briefly that there are two ways for the future to sort of be rendered in Latin. For first and second conjugation, the are and the ere, they use this bo, bibby, bibby, boo. And for third and fourth, they use am, ace, et, amos aetis ent. So you're going to see references to future verbs, which you've seen, but maybe you've forgotten. So that's my heads up for this part of the chapter. It's going to just please keep a close look at the margins here. And again, I'm available if you have questions about it. I want you to read carefully, no translating, but I want you to read carefully all the way up to line 121 on page 183 here. That's about half of the third lectio, excuse me. And then when you've done that, when you've read it through carefully, I would just ask you to answer. Exercise 11 is on page 88 of the workbook. And if you could answer questions 1 through 8. The first one is quid Marcus parentibus suis promittit. You're going to see some new vocabulary once again too. And it goes up to question number 8, which is num Julius credit Marcum iam mutatum esse. And that'll be the assignment for today. If you can just have those 8 questions in exercise 11 on page 88 done by class time tomorrow, when we can check in on that. And then I'll ask you to read to the end of the third lectio and do the remaining questions in exercise 11 on Tuesday. And then we'll get to the new vocabulary, which will be exercise 10. But that is it. I hope, again, that you're all doing okay. And, again, just please keep your eyes always on the margin here. There are all kinds of hints here on the margin if you get confused. And, again, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. All you have to do is text me, or, there's all kinds of ways to get in touch with me, obviously. But just go ahead and text me or post something up onto Classroom, and I'm there for you, okay? But we'll check in on Tuesday, and for today, you can talk to each other or be on your own, okay? Sorry for the long-winded video here, and take care of yourselves, okay? Adios.